Mamie belle, la moustache et la capuchon. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki, 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 mamie belle, la moustache et la capuchon.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today, I got 6 takeaways from the Washington Redskins Cleveland Browns preseason game. So, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this list. At number 1, I got, of course, the superstar of the game, Jimmy Moreland. Jimmy Moreland, of course, like I said, when we drafted him, I got to see a lot of James Madison games. I saw even then this guy was always around the ball, and he has not disappointed at all. This game really showcased how much of a threat he is when it comes to being around the ball at all times. And not only that, making plays when he's around the ball. I mean, 5 solo tackles, that's amazing. But the fact that he forced 2 fumbles, and he had 3 passes defense. I mean, this guy, he just showed that even when it comes to the NFL evaluators, sometimes you can evaluate incorrectly. And it seems like because the NFL has been in this position of moving towards taller and taller cornerbacks, they've forgotten that there are guys who might be a little shorter that might be far superior to these taller cornerbacks. And last night, Jimmy Moreland really showed that he's that guy. Number 2, I have to say, these particular backups, I feel very, very good about. Tim Settle, Cole Holcomb, Casanova McKenzie, and DeShazer Everett. I'll start with Tim Settle. Tim Settle is now going into his 3rd year with us. He's showing that he still has consistency no matter what, which is something that I have to admit I'm excited about. Cole Holcomb made plays yesterday. He was the person who started the goal line stands that happened early in the game. And that also helped with Jimmy Moreland forcing a fumble. So Cole Holcomb, I mean, he's fast to the ball. He seemed like he was fast to almost every play. And even though he's a little undersized, it didn't seem like it because he was actually stuffing plays, which to me, again, speaks volumes when you have a guy who can actually be fast to the ball and snuff out plays. So he's actually looking good. The other one is Casanova McKenzie. He looks really fast off the edge. So I know with him, he has a lot of competition with Ryan Anderson and Jordan Brailford. So I'm not sure. Hopefully they can find a way to keep him, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to. But he looks extremely fast off the edge. And last but not least is DeShazer Everett. Again, he's been somebody who's been in the league and he's played with us before and everything. He looked incredible. He got burnt on a couple plays, but he did recover later on in the game. And you can tell that, again, he's a quality backup for either Landon Collins or Monte Nicholson. So, again, I understand that this is the first game, but again, he still looked pretty good for that little bit of stretch that he had. At number 3, I got Case Keenum and Dwayne Haskins. I'm gonna be honest. To me, Case Keenum, he is who we thought he was. I mean, no matter how you look at it, he looks far more uncomfortable back there than Dwayne Haskins did. And to me, that's worrisome for me because they were actually talking about this guy possibly being a starter for us. And the fact that he looks so uncomfortable in this game kind of worries me because, again, I said this before and I'll say this again. I saw this from Rex Grossman when he was here in the preseasons and stuff like that. Rex Grossman, he had those moments where he looked uncomfortable or he didn't really seem like he was catching on. And again, for me, I just see that, maybe him being in Denver and the stats he had in Denver was not a fluke. And maybe this whole time, the 1 year, the one phenomenal year he had in Minnesota was a fluke year. You know, I mean, is it possible that we're looking at a Scott Mitchell situation where he has that one phenomenal year, and then all of a sudden people think that he's a better quarterback than what he really is, and we come to find out that he's not. So for me, I took away from Case Keenum is that, again, you knew what you was getting with this guy. Dwayne Haskins, he looked fairly comfortable to be playing in first NFL preseason game, but I will say that he does need some work. But I expect that from a guy like him, because you expect for a young rookie quarterback to kind of make these little small error mistakes, like throwing on his tippy toes or throwing off his back foot, you know, thinking he has enough arm strength to get certain things out there. It did cost him, but you can kind of tell that eventually he's going to be the guy, because, I mean, man, he can actually throw the ball. I mean, he had a play over to the sideline to Kingsby, and I mean, he just threw it so hard. But the fact that the guy dropped it, you know, it is crazy, but you can tell that him being the quarterback of our future makes a lot of sense. And I hope that as he keeps going on and keeps growing, I think that he'll get better as he keeps playing in the preseason. I'll say it like that, because I think that as the game goes on, he's going to start being aware of what's happening on the field. So I think that as he keeps progressing through the preseason, we'll start to see him get better and better and better. At number 4, I got Troy Apke and JoJo McIntosh. Now, Troy Apke was out there earlier. And again, to me, I feel that when I saw him play with Troy Apke playing, it seemed like he, for some reason, was kind of slow or wasn't quite reacting as fast as he should have to the ball. DeShazer Everett seemed like he was covering up a lot of the mental lapses that Troy Apke was having. And to me, I don't see the reason why keeping this guy, because the guy that I'm talk about next, to me, he showed a little bit more, even though it doesn't really look like it on film. But if you go back and look at the game, you could tell certain little things. So to me, Troy Apke, didn't show that he deserves to be on this team, because he just seemed like he was slow. He was slow reacting to almost everything that was happening. And I mean, he seemed like he was slow to get into the ball. When somebody was throwing the ball, he was slow to making a tackle. He seemed like he was taking bad angles when it came to tackling. So I'm not really sure if I like Troy Apke being on our team. The other guy, JoJo McIntosh. Now, JoJo McIntosh has got a rookie again. He's somebody that I talked about before, and how I recognized that in college, a lot of teams did not throw to his area, or he would at times cover wide receivers at the safety position. Now, in this game, I noticed that again. Like, for some strange reason, you can tell that the quarterbacks, even though they were backups, you can tell that they didn't like what they were seeing when they looked at his side of the field. Now, there were a couple times where I saw that he was actually collapsing on wide receivers, and he does like this little sneak thing where he looks like he's coming towards the line, but he's bailing out. And he also had a moment where he covered one of their tight ends, who's a tight end / wide receiver, and you can tell that he has coverage skills. So, I mean, I suggest everybody go back, and if you get the opportunity to relook at the preseason game, go back and watch number 32, JoJo McIntosh, in the secondary. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about when I tell you that for some reason quarterbacks, he's doing something over there that quarterbacks are weary of throwing to his side. I don't know what it is, but you can tell that he's doing something that's making them weary. At number 5, I have Samaje Perine. It's time to let it it's time to let the experiment be over. Samardzija yesterday for him to be a guy that is supposed to come in and kind of like back up like Geis or Adrian Peterson, for him to go into that game and actually not look like the best running back is kind of weird to me, because he didn't look good at all. Like, to me, I don't understand what the excitement is about him. I guess he can catch the ball. But to me, he doesn't show that he's really that good at anything. I mean, even when it came to pass blocking, he missed a key block. So, I just don't understand. Like, at this point, to me, I think it's time to go ahead and release Samardzija P. Ryan, because I just don't see him getting any better. I don't see him being able to take snaps away from Geis or Adrian Peterson, and I don't see him as being a quality backup for either also. So I just think that it's time to stop the experiment with Samardzija P. Ryan. And my sixth and final takeaway is, let's cut Ereck Flowers. It's done. I mean, Ereck Flowers looks bad as an offensive tackle, and he looks he looks just as bad as an offensive guard. I know the position is new to him, but if the guy's natural position, if he's no good at the position he's been playing for a long period of time in his life, and then he's playing a new position and he doesn't look good in that position either, I think it's time to move on. I just don't. I mean, for him to struggle and have holding penalties and all types of false start calls and things against him, against backups, is kind of strange to me. And I just think that we should probably just go ahead and just say, let's end it with Ereck Flowers. We thought we had something, but in reality, you really don't. So those are my 6 takeaways from the game. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I personally feel that, again, Jimmy Moreland was the starter of the game, and I just can't wait to the next game. I can't wait to the next preseason game where we actually start to see some of the starters and things like that. We'll see if Trent may come back. It sounds like he's not, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, this is your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.